What's up, everybody? Welcome to the spoiler edition of the Batman Drew podcast. And today we are going to review Moana 2. My wife and I, we went on a date night tonight and we were debating between going to see one of four movies. Either Moana 2, Sonic 3, Wicked, or Mufasa. And we couldn't decide, so we threw them all in a hat and we landed on Moana 2. Now, the first Moana, I loved everything about it. I thought that the characters were great. I loved Maui. The music, inspirational. Honestly, it probably breaks my top 3 Disney movies of all time. Favorite Disney movies of all time. So, with high hopes, I went into Moana 2, but something just kind of told me that I didn't think I was going to like this one. And lo and behold, I did not. In a thumbs up or thumbs down world, it was a thumbs down for me. A couple of things about the movie. Like, it wasn't all bad, but we'll kind of go through a couple of the notes that I had about the movie. I will say, all in all, the movie was very forgettable. Didn't really feel like the story itself. I mean, it felt like a beat by beat just rehashing of the first movie. The songs, honestly, I couldn't remember a single song that was in this movie. It just, the music in general was so disappointing, because the music in the first Moana I absolutely loved. So, You're Welcome, such a classic song, love the rock. But How Far I'll Go is such an inspirational song. And when my wife and I were talking about the movie, I realized that what separated the music from the first one to the second one for me was that the music in the first one, if you took away everything about the movie and just focused on the lyrics of the song, they were super inspirational. And if you focused on the lyrics of the second one, they were so driven to the character, not just to advance the story, but talking directly to the characters themselves. So, like, the song that The Rock sings, first of all, in the second one, didn't even need to be there. Like we felt like we were just trying to capture the same kind of like lightning in a bottle that You're Welcome captured from the first one. But fine, you know what? He has a song. It was so forgettable and really made no impact on the movie itself, because You're Welcome gave us a lot of insight into the character of Maui. We figured out what kind of made him tick, realized that he was obviously super full of himself. This one was meant to be an inspiration to Moana, and it fell flat because she finally gains her spirit back just to come around, and the team that she had with her didn't need her in the first place. They fixed the fucking boat themselves. It felt like the music was just trying to capture the same kind of thing that the original did, and it didn't work. It didn't work for me. And so when it came to the music, it felt like it lacked inspiration. And I know that, like, maybe that's not fair because it's a Disney movie, a Disney kids animated movie, I guess. But the music in the first one, again, was so inspiring and so catchy, and honestly, I felt like the music in the first one was better than the soundtrack we got in Frozen. And I still stand by that. I think Moana, the first one, was a much better movie than Frozen. However, I will say that Moana 2, so far beneath Frozen 2. Musically, character-wise, story-wise, it really kind of disappointed me. I'm not going to lie. I thought that the first movie was kid-friendly. I felt like this one was made for kids. Like, it had some jokes in it that not only fell flat, but were very, like, fart driven. Like, I know that, like, so obviously this is a spoiler review, so hopefully you've seen the movie, but there's a scene where Moana and her crew get separated when they go inside the clam, right? And when they are the group that was with Moana, when they gather their bearings and they see the old man blames the coconut, and he pokes the coconut, but it realizes it's an eyeball for that creature, and then the coconut shoots the creature, and he, blows up, and then, deflates. Just at the end of it, to give like the fart noises to catch like, I guess, a small laugh from the kids. Like, I don't know. It's just, I know we're talking about an animated movie, but I'm so disappointed because Moana was an animated movie and it was phenomenal. Like it was great. And this movie's going to do well financially. I think at this point it's like almost close to $1 billion. I don't know. It didn't hit for me. And so, but it wasn't all bad, right? I want to go over a couple of the pros. So for me, like the pros for Moana 2, the relationship between her and her little sister was great. I'm a younger brother. I'm significantly younger than my other brothers, and so I know what it was like to be that kid where like you missed your brothers or your family or your siblings or whatever, and you were so glad to when you ever got to see them, and then you were always worried about them and things like that. And so I thought she was adorable, and I thought the setup was great. So when you find Moana after she separates from the group, and she kind of has that vision or that nightmare, right, of her little sister telling her, like, you're not going to succeed. Like, we're all going to die because of you, basically. I was like, fantastic. Like, that's great. Because you could tell, obviously, it wasn't real. Even the little girl tells her it wasn't real. But when she starts talking about how Moana has failed and all this kind of stuff, like, I thought that setup was great. But going back to the cheap jokes, well, then all of a sudden she turns into this goofy animated bat right before Moana wakes up. And I don't know. I felt like it missed an opportunity to be a little bit deeper than what it was. And so, but the little girl was great. I did love the character arc and love seeing her and her love for her sister and all that kind of stuff. Especially at the end where Maui shows up, gives her that little scope, and she can see her sister on the horizon. Like, that was super sweet. I love that part. The visuals I thought were a significant step up from the original, and I think that, obviously that comes with time and better effects and all that kind of stuff, but especially when they were in kind of the eye of the storm fighting the god and everything, like, I just thought the visuals of all of that was beautiful, and it sounds silly, but one of the things that I thought was the prettiest was when she got her tattoo at the end of the movie and how it was gold on top of her skin and stuff. Like, it just, you get all the different ancestors coming in to surround her to bring her back to life. Like, visually it was beautiful. The ocean was visually breathtaking in the movie for being an animated movie. I really thought it was great. Reminded me kind of the step up in visuals that like the Uncharted games had. I think it was the first one that really focused in on the animation of the water in Uncharted, to kind of give you that sense of realism. I felt like it was here too. A couple of the scenes where she was standing like looking out at the horizon, you see the sunrise and stuff like that. Top notch. I loved that part of it. And then I don't remember the coconut's name, but the little coconut that joins them on their escapade, like I don't know. He played a small part, but they did that character extremely well. Kind of coming in clutch several times, and then you really kind of feel it hit home whenever he finally gets back to the rest of his people. I thought that was pretty cool. So a couple of highlights. Couple more cons. I gotta tell you, I hate the fucking chicken. Hey, I think is his name. Didn't work for me. Thought it was just too over the top stupid. And the first one, it didn't really work for me either, but it wasn't. I felt like this one was kind of dumb. I will say that one of the funniest jokes was when Hey and the pig were in the boat, and Maui sees them, and he's about to go off, and he calls them bacon and eggs. I thought that was pretty funny. And then there were a couple other jokes that hit. It wasn't like it lacked humor for adults at all, but it just, I don't know. Oh, there was a lot more humor that didn't hit than that did. And then again, I just thought it was too much of a beat by beat shot of the first one. I don't know, storyline kind of bored me a little bit, if I'm being honest. I will say that I know that, apparently this movie was made to be a Disney series on Disney Plus, animated Disney Moana series. I think they should have kept it. I think they should have kept it a episodic series on Disney Plus. Listen, I think you have maybe the first half season, or even the first full season, maybe, depending on, Disney Plus does this stupid shit where it's like 6 episodes a season for some of these shows. So maybe your first season is Moana in that storyline that we got in Moana 2, and, bringing the island out of the water and breaking the curse and trying to bring all the lands together. I think that you do that in the first season. Then you can spend your second and third season with her, almost like an episodic series where there's a land of the week, and every single episode is her finding new people and finding new lands and bridging that gap between the people, because you saw like the mosaic on an island, and it showed where the island was. It showed how much land has not been explored yet. And first of all, I don't think you can do any of that in a movie. I don't think you can really branch out and see all the different parts of the world. If they do a Moana 3, obviously it's set up with this big battle with that god at the end of the movie. Okay. Like, all that's going to happen is the same thing that happened in the first 2 movies, and that is Maui's going to play a distraction. Moana's going to find a way to kind of, connive her way into being able to win. And then we're going to have some inspirational song at the end. Like, you've already done it twice, why not a third time? So, I don't know. I think an episode series actually would have been better. I think it would have been cooler. I think it would have... I think there's a lot more that you could do and expand on it. Because you didn't do anything in this movie. You bridged the gaps in the ocean to allow the different lands to meet you in the middle. Okay. So now what? Like, you pissed off a god and now you're gonna have to fight him, and I don't know. The lore of this movie, of this universe of Moana, like, it's so cool, and I just felt like the second one just dropped the ball. So I didn't like it. I don't know if I'll ever see it again. I listened to the soundtrack on the way home, and I still couldn't hum a single, line of any of the music from the second one. So, all in all, just flat. So, if you liked it, I hope you did. I mean, art is subjective, so maybe Moana 2 is your favorite movie of all time, and if that's the case, I praise you, and I'm happy for you. For me, it just wasn't anywhere near the first one, and a sequel doesn't have to be. You just have to be good, and you weren't good. So, that's it. Those are my thoughts. I think that you should all rewatch the first one. Listen to how far I'll go. Let that be your inspiration of the day. And just forget all about the second one. So, that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know what your thoughts are. Put them in the comments. DM me. Tell me I'm full of shit. Like, I'm interested to see what you guys think. So, for me, it just wasn't a great movie. But here is to hopefully much more reviews and much more fun times at the movie theater than what I had tonight. So, thanks, guys.